Hello friends, Marcy here, and I have been recording this morning as I have been fleshing out the Galaxy ink from this pen. It's been less than 24 hours, but it showed up as a very staining ink and frustrating for me to clean. So join me in this video as I troubleshoot what's going on with cleaning this pen and re-inking into the narwhal piston filler, the same Galaxy ink. So I'm going to test it in a different pen. But join me in the footage. It is, a bit chatty, but I was able to enjoy some successes, and I hope you can hang with me till the end of the video and learn some tips on cleaning a vac fill. So I'm trying to inject some pen flush down into this barrel. I think I'm causing a shadow here. If I go slowly, I can do it. I've already put some in, and then I got it back behind this plunger seal back here where this stain is, just by maneuvering that and letting what I put in fall down. So I'm going to let this sit for a bit and soak up a little bit of this stain. See what we can do to clean that out. If not, we're just going to refill it, and hopefully the other ink. I'm going to have to get some of that Pilot ink that you fill your pen with and it cleans your pen. I don't remember the name. So I can see how the liquid of the pen flush is having that purple gray tint to it. So it is working on some of that stain, that ring. Let me show you just real quick. Here I'm trying to problem solve this without knowing what I'm doing and just coming up with great ideas. But I'm pulling back this plunger to put pressure on this, and I'm going to allow that. See, it's starting to come above the pressure plunger here. I'm going to allow that to sit for a bit, see what happens. Okay, I'm not very patient with just letting it sit, so I'll share with you what I've been doing here. I pulled back the plunger a couple times slowly because I just want to keep the liquid here. You can see it's darker. It is removing some staining. But as I got closer to the back where this line is, when I got to the bottom, I began turning and twisting this as to give a scrubbing motion to the side, and that helped remove some of it. But there is that that limit where the plunger just doesn't touch. That did help, but it didn't remedy the problem 100%. I am not prepared to take this apart yet. I'm going to go ahead and re-ink this with another, because I have made some good progress here, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to re-ink this with another ink. I do know that this ink is very staining, and you can see some of the discoloration here around the top. Off camera, I did take off the nib, and I'll show you that again. This is a cool part. You can see where that flange on that plunger, the rubber seal, just kind of shrinks right there, which is what allows all the ink flow. And then when you screw it down, it closes the ink feed into the nib there. But let me show you what I discovered when I took off the nib. So all this, I'm hoping to problem solve for you, give you some help if you ever run into a problem like this, as we discover together. So since that's open, I'm going to leave that there. You can see a little discoloration, purple here, discoloration around this plastic end. I did wipe it with a paper towel. I didn't get any of the discoloration off, or minimal. Anyway, I'm not going to put any chemicals or anything on that. I'm just going to allow other inks to do their staining if that's the case with this pen. So I'm going to reassemble this. I do want to get rid of this discolored pen flush that's in here and put what little I have left that's in my syringe here. So let me get rid of this into my clean water. Okay, a few flushes in this, and I'm going to, let's see, that does look better. I am making progress. Wow, I'm impressed. Even that little band of ink that was at the end of the rod here behind the plunger, it has flushed out. So let me do one more bit of clean flush, and then we will let it sit for a bit and re-ink. Thank you for staying with me as I go through this journey. So, I'm just inserting my syringe into the breather hole here and slowly putting some pressure to see how it comes up if I go too fast through the nib feed. Let me give it some gravity. I think I'm causing a shadow on your view here. There we go. Just slow pressure. I saw some going down. Let me move this a bit. There we go. So I can bypass that vacuum pressure. I think that's what I did the first time. Okay, that should be all that I had in the syringe. I have to flush that out. And I did get some in there and some on my fingers. That's okay. So move this around a little bit. Again, let this sit as patiently as I can because I want to wrap this up. And we'll be back in a moment. Okay, first cup of coffee, fresh jar of water, and let's flush this out and call it done for the day, aside from re-inking. I'm going to give it a few fresh rinses. I do see some discoloration here in this liquid, so we did make some progress there with removing some staining, and we'll just call it done for the day. So I'm going to re-ink it. I think I'm going to try my other Galaxy, my other Nahvular ink, the orchid flower that I just loved so much in my swatching yesterday. Okay. I'm going to get all this out. And we have a fresh, clean pen. There we go. Nice. So I still see some bubbles in here. I'm going to flush this one more time in fresh water. Go get some fresh water and then open the nib to rinse everything out. Okay, I'm back. Fresh, clean water for whatever I may need it for. And I did remove the nib unit again. Ran water at the tap through the nib feed to flush out any of the cleaning bubbles, residue, the barrel, and then shook everything dry to try to get as much liquid out of that so we can re-ink. I'll reassemble the pen, and real quick, I am going to use the ink we just flushed that I had a fit about in my Nahvular piston fill. I want to see how it writes with this medium nib. This is a medium nib. This is a Nahvular medium nib. Just for nib comparison and performance, I guess I'm taking a risk on staining the inside of that, but I know I can clean it. Actually, I do have an old stain ring right there from the back of the plunger. So I may have to disassemble this pen, do a thorough cleaning, and then put some more silicone grease around that seal. We'll see what happens after I try this staining ink. So disperse some of my shimmer about. I'm going to ink this first and do a writing sample here on my notebook. I'm not using the water right now, so we'll move it aside. This I'll leave open, it's just so it can air dry a bit. But thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm hoping, as you see me work out my little fits, that I can help save you from having the same problem. All right. Oh, get it down into the bottle deep enough to and I really don't care about a full fill on this. Again, this is just enough for a test, and that will suffice. There. Let me clean up my grip section so I can, oh look, I got a lot of shimmer there. That is so pretty. Oh goodness. This is enjoying these beautiful moments of ink and shimmer. Getting to enjoy those moments is exactly why I deal with the issues in ink. I think you probably agree if you use it and you know my joy. All right. I wrote this before I started the video, just as a last writing sample for today. And I am still amazed at how smooth this nib is. It's medium, but oh my goodness, it is so smooth. Just like my first impressions when I first purchased it a few years ago. All right, so this one I am going to write narwhal because it wasn't Nahvular at the time of purchase. And I am seeing some feathering here on the paper for that ink. Let me bring it a little closer. See if you can catch that. This was the narwhal and Galen leather collaboration. And let me finish that. This is a medium nib, and it is the rose gold. Okay, very smooth writer. So my feathering is here on the page. I'm not really seeing it any other places on here, but I can sure tell a difference in the nib, the line width on the nib. They're both medium, and the line width on the Matira Quartz looks finer. There's not as much shimmer showing through, and what I've written here is still wet and shiny, but if I turn the book, you can see some shimmer in the ink. It's still wet, some shimmer, not much. So let me get a little bit of ink on the page. See, I see shimmer right here in the E, and where the ink is wet and darkest, wettest and darkest on the end and thickest, I'm seeing that, but not really too much everywhere else. So we'll see how this writes out today. I'll continue using it throughout the day in place of where I was using it in my journal this morning with this pen. We'll see what happens. But let me ink this pen with the other color and test the performance there. All right, so I'm going to pull my plunger up, insert the nib below the breather hole. We'll see how much we get on one fill. Not too concerned about a full fill yet because I'm just doing like test writing. Okay, so there we go. Not much, but we're going to work with it. this medium nib is writing, I can feel the difference, writing finer than on the narwhal. And Nahvular, the more I write this, the better I'm getting at spelling as I make a mistake while talking. This is the Matira Quartz in medium nib using Nahvular Oh, I wonder if I'll ever get that name. Explorer. Orchid flower. All right. Let's just do a little bit of performance test on keeping up with the ink flow. Got a little light there on the upstroke. Let me try that again. Yeah. So the upstroke is lighter on delivering the ink and keeping up with the nib feed, but we'll keep writing, testing it out, and see how we do with ink staining inside this barrel. Come back and let you know later for an update. Thank you for spending your precious moments with me. You have a blessed day. Bye-bye.